So hello everyone. I will have myself up in just a second. You know, the dogs are not cooperating for us because they never cooperate, do they? They only cooperate when there's Cheerios involved. So give me 1 second and I will have them up and I will have me up because I'm juggling around things. Oof. Okay. Shh. Are you done barking? I don't think they're done barking. Anyways, so let's finish getting all set up. Oof. Cheerios. Oh, look at that. You're being such a good boy, Puck. Look at that. All right. Here's the Cheerios. And make it rain. Which most of them are hitting coats instead of thing. So I might have to fix that. Okay. We've got Cheerios going. My makeup's been touched up. I've had lunch. I have more coffee. Let's finish getting everything set up, shall we? So, this is an Arianespace launch. So that means I need to pull up Arianespace's YouTube account. I know, you're being such a good boy, Puck. Have some more Cheerios. So how is everybody doing? My desk is still a mess of molecules. And I think it's actually going to stay that way rather than me pull apart molecules and remake them. Actually, I don't know. We'll take it apart. We'll see. I don't know. Okay. So first is Arianespace. And go to their website. Not their website. Okay. So we have that ready. I'll rearrange some windows here. So I can get this picture in picture. And oh shoot, I don't even have the right title up. Look at me screwing up. Here, have some dogs. Have some dogs. So the mission is BA248, which is really just T-16 and Eutelsat. Sat 7 Charlie. And this is for Arianespace. Okay. Well, that got cut off. Alright, let's try this. I don't think it's gonna work. Not the way I want it to work. See, this is what you get for tuning in early. You get to watch me set up. Hooray! Arianespace stream. And there we go. Just like that. Boom. Okay. And then Bingo Baker. Alright, here we go. So I don't even know who's all here because everything's buried. So I'm going to start making the bingo. And to help me with this, I'm going to pull up Wikipedia and we're going to look at what kind of rocket this is. So Ariane 5. So this is going to be the B248 T-16 and Eutelsat 7 Charlie. The name, and of course we always have liftoff, nominal, dogs barking because the dogs bark. We'll put because Arianespace is the one doing this, we'll put Arianespace. Any word not in English. And orbit. Trying to think. So it's the ECA that's still active. They usually say Kuru, which I'm probably going to slaughter the spelling of that, so let me pull this up. Kuru. So there's no boosters. This, oh, there might be boosters. But the core stage uses LOX and liquid hydrogen. Anything on screen counts, as always. The second stage uses MMH and N2O4. Oh, that's ugly. N2O4. Model on screen counts. And then they have something called Monomethylhydrazine, so I'm just going to leave it as hydrazine. And hey Q, I know you're lurking. It's an awkward time of day to have a launch, I feel. Oh wait, did I? No. That's second stage. No, it actually does not use monomethyl hydrazine or the anode. It doesn't use those. Cool, I can take those off. It uses, for the second stage, L2 and, or LOX and liquid hydrogen. That makes it way nicer. All the way through. I should probably look at the press kit. But if they have boosters, you know what, let me just pull up their press kit. Because I know there's a press kit. They do have boosters, so we're going to, I'm gonna look at the launch kit, which isn't on screen for you, but it's on screen for me. Do they have a timeline? Do. Does have 2 boosters. They're solid rocket boosters. Okay, here's what I was looking for. Shh! It's okay. Roll, they may or may not call max Q. Echo. Don't think there's going to be a Secco. There should be. Fairing jettisoned. EAP, which is the solid boosters. Booster separation. And EPC is this main stage. EPC or main stage separation. Payload separation. Hey, DPI. I don't think I'm that early, am I? I didn't get the time that mixed up, did I? Because 21 minus 4 is 17. Right? Right? You can't hear me. And 17 is 5 o'clock. No, you're right. And an hour before that is 4. I don't even remember what I have up on the screen anymore. No, I think you're right. It says coverage is going to be live in 68 minutes, so maybe they changed it. Maybe it got changed and I didn't pay attention. Or maybe I just had 21 stuck in my head and I was like, okay, we'll be back. So, no, you're right. You're right. You're not off by 1. You're right. So I guess I am early. Like, way early. Which would explain why nobody's here and I'm just talking to myself. Yeah, for the full coverage. Okay. And they start a little bit earlier than that. I was like, why is nobody here? I'm all by myself. Hey, gluten-free space. 11 people is not nobody. The last time I looked, it was like 3 people. I'm not joking. Even got more coffee. So tonight's gonna be a long night, isn't it, favorite human?
What's up?
I said tonight's gonna be a long night, isn't it, favorite human? I have more coffee.
I mean, I can understand that. But
I'm not gonna be able to sleep.
why not?
Because I'm having coffee. It's at 4 p.m.
Yeah, but
You guys probably didn't hear him, but he's like, it's just coffee. You'll be alright. You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
Let's get some dogs on screen. So, hey, gluten-free space. Who else is lurking? I'm gonna call out all the lurkers now. Hodor. And Joe. What? Joe, you're lurking? Hey, Zine. Human! The Cheerios keep getting caught on one of your jackets.
Yes, I know.
I don't have the camera set in the right angle to catch them as you're nudging them down. Hi, no, just hi, Joe. Also, hi, Torch. Now we have to clip that for Torch. We have to clip that for Torch. Hi, Torch. How you doing, Torch? I know you're not watching, but hi, Torch. Those of you that are very confused, it's okay. Torch is a gaming buddy. And, they were giving him a hard time. Giving me a hard time, not him a hard time. They were giving me a hard time because I wouldn't say hello to him right away. So now, just period. It doesn't matter if he's in the certain Discord channel or not. I'm just going to tell him hi, regardless. And I told him I would say hi to him on stream and that we would clip it. So hi, Torch! So I will clip it and I will send him the clip and that will make him happy. Bingo word, Guyana Space Center. Alright, so let me flip back to bingo. Pie? No. So Guyana Space Center. Pie? If there's pie, I would love pie. Zine chimes in with the, Tinker, you're a little too close to the camera. The cake is a pie. Torch is a metaphor. Torchwood? No, I don't know where Torch got his name from, but it's a lot of fun in games where we have torches, because it's always like, I need a torch. And everybody's like, do you mean the person or the actual thing? And giving Torch a torch is definitely a thing. Yeah, I saw that the boosters were weird. By weird, as in they were solid fuel. So let me see if I can pull up I had the Wikipedia page open. And they call everything really weird names. Let's see, what molecules do I need together? I think I'm gonna have to scrap my Mylar molecule because that's what I use for my water. So come here, Gimme. Thank you. It's okay. Just pop back on there. You can do it. There you go. So I'm tearing apart part of my mylar molecule because that's what I used for my liquid oxygen. Where's my liquid hydrogen? Oh, there it is. I might put models together of the older fuel that they use for the older, but not everybody uses AC. CP is fuel, and that's what's weird. Because they have the HT-PB, which let's see if I can find. Oh my. I should be able to do HT. Not that one though. How many is that? 4 carbon, and this is 4 carbon. Perfect. Yep. Perfect. All right, so let me fight with my models. If anybody thinks of any other bingo words, please share them, because did you whine because you're not getting Cheerios? I mean, we have a while to figure it out while I mess with my things. So aluminium, or aluminum for Americans. Aluminium should only be one. I'm working on the hydroxyl terminated polybutadiene. Go chemistry. I think my chemistry professors were like, she's never gonna make it through this, and like, yeah, I made it through. So I'm not sure what makes this a 1,3, or do I have this backwards? Hold on, I have to think. I might not have this quite right, because yes, it actually does matter. So this, I know. Yeah, no, okay, it's right. It's right, and I think it's just confusing. Double bond, single bond, double bond. Okay. Maybe I didn't have it right. So yeah, this is a unit of it, and it's the 1,3. And I'm not sure why they call it a 1,3. And I'm looking at, I guess I should just link the page I'm looking at. But there's polymerization that goes on. I don't really fully get polymerization, but I do know that yeah, it's a little confusing. So I can show you like one unit, and then like there's just a lot of them, and then they go through polymerization. So a lot of these units would get really unwieldy if I were to make them. So aluminum is just aluminum. Ammonium perchlorate. It's a solid. Yeah, I really should make a file. I mean, if I made an account on Bingo Baker, I could go back and find all the ones I made. Or, butane has 3 carbon atoms, so why do I have 4? Because this had me do 4. Or was I not counting right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Shh. So 1, 3 means that there's at the first and third instead of an additional hydrogen. Okay. Alright. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, this is what that looks like then. And it's symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which way I hold it, which is awesome. Okay. So, where did I go? Yeah, the dogs aren't happy. It's like, why aren't you giving me... Fine, I'll give you Cheerios. Don't laugh at me, human. And there's not really much I can... Because I don't have anything to represent chlorine. And, I mean, I could put a nitrogen together. I could put nitrogen together. Don't I have a singular nitrogen? Not quite. Oof. Alright. Let me just pull up the bucket. The amount of bits and pieces in here. Okay, we can use this. So this just needs a shell. Do I have blue shells? I should have blue shells. Do we not have blue shells? I have black shells. Well, I think we're just going to have to use our imagination with that one. Because, for whatever reason, I don't have blue shells. Which is weird. Are you in here? No, you're black and red shells and some other bits and pieces. And you are a bunch of hydrogens. And you are just there. Alright, so I don't have any shells, so we're gonna have to use our imagination. Oof. And polybutadiene acrylic acid acrylonitrate. I think chemistry things are the only things I can pronounce. Alright. Yeah, we'll all have to use our imaginations here. But, let me actually, how does this show up on camera? It's not bad. I definitely like the space filling things. Alright, let me put my big box away. Keep the hydrogens out just in case I need the hydrogens. My nephew hasn't found my molecules yet. I'm waiting for him to find my molecules. Okay. So what other models do we need? Get. Okay. Can actually be thrown away. Oof. I don't think I need this, do I? The hydrazine. And I don't think I need this. Or do I? I've already forgotten. No, I do need HT. Nope. I don't need either of these. Awesome. Except for to talk about the old fuel that this craft used to use. So I think we got the model squared away. There's so many models on my desk right now. So many models. I should actually probably put those back in the box, otherwise they'll get lost. And we'll just kind of shove you up here and out of the way, where the cat can't get you. No UDMH except for Proton M and most Chinese launches. Why am I ringing? They can leave a message. UDMH. No, the older model of this rocket used UDMH is... Isn't that unsymmetrical? I always forget. I'm gonna have to look it up. Unsymmetrical dimethyl hyd... Yeah, there we go. Unsymmetrical. So, no, they did not. The Ariane 5 has never used UDMH, the unsymmetrical dimethyl hydrazine. They used what they call monomethyl hydrazine, which is just this. So, which is why I have this and this out. Because they actually switched. Hey, thanks for following, Freddy the dog. We'll toss some Cheerios at Tinker. So here's the Cheerios. And speak! Good, 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 good. And make it rain! She did it just right. That never happens. Alright. Okay, so done with the models. So back to bingo. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares left. Yes, they did use the MMHMON, which is, or they used the nitrogen tetraoxide and then MMH until before they did the cryogenic. And cryogenic is just, for those of you that don't know, just super cold, super cold. So they switched from using toxic chemicals to something that's not so toxic. Alright. What about AT&T, Eutelsat, and T-16? Sure, why not? So let's do AT&T or DirecTV. And Eutelsat. Sat. And we'll do T-16. This is a commercial launch, so let's put customer. And what else? Liftoff, nominal, dogs barking, Arianespace. Any word not in English, orbit, Kuru, LOX, liquid hydrogen, MECO, roll, max Q, fairing jettison, booster separation, main stage separation, payload separation, Vienna Space Center, AT&T/DirecTV, Eutelsat, T-16. I'm gonna put 7 Charlie as its own thing. Yeah! Thanks, DPI. DPI says cryogenic refers to both the component's fuel and oxidizer being supercooled below 0 to get it liquid. SpaceX, for example, uses Kerolox, which is semi-cryogenic since only the LOX needs to be supercooled to be liquid. I don't know what else to put. We could put VA, here we go, VA 248, shot of the control room. People cheering. Yeah, Well, that goes under any word not in English. We can have a square for if I recognize a word in French. Which may or may not happen. Because there's actually not a whole lot of French in the English, broadcast. I guess we could have Seco. Do we know about the satellite manufacturers? That's a very good question. Yes, I have the press release up. I know, I hear you. Eutelsat was made by Maxar Technologies. So let's put Maxar Technologies. Put telecommunications. Actually, we'll just put communications. Do I have orbit? Yeah, I have orbit. Who made... And it was Airbus that made the AT&T satellite. Do we know anything? EADS Astrium. What did they make? But it says in the thing that T-16 was made by Airbus. I'm so confused now. Here. This is literally what I'm looking at. Did they change their name? Oh, okay. So we'll do a slash. Do we want to add more words? We can add more words. Anybody know the name of the engines? See if I can flip back to the thing. Last flight, boosters, burn time, fuel, thrust. Engines, here we go. These are the Vulcane. Vulcane 2. Core engine. And then for the second stage, it's HM7B is literally the I know, I heard you, Tink. Second stage engine. And what about the boosters? P241. You're looking at the 238. Is one of the 3 business units of Astrium now. Airbus, Defense and Space. Okay, so we'll just leave it how I have it then. If you're looking at the wiki page for this particular rocket, be careful because they have all the rocket stuff stacked together and you want to make sure you're looking at the boosters for ECA. And the engines for ECA versus G and G Plus are a different engine. It's the P24, which is the booster engine. And honestly, if they say core engine, second stage engine, and booster engine, that counts as getting a score. So, we have the engines, we have the cores, we have the things that are going to be separated. Let me flip back through the thing. I don't think the payloads are being separated all at once. I think they're being separated separately. they are being separated separately. So we'll do T-16 separation, and then 7 Charlie separation. There are so many engines. There's also the Slida separation, so we'll just add Slida. That Slida? I don't know. To me it looks like Slida, and I realize that that's not at all. It's the Sierra Yankee Lima Delta Alpha. So they're going to mention the Nadal tracking station. And looking at the press releases is very helpful for doing this. And yeah, it is a very good press release. All systems go. Onboard power. Oh, here we go. Ascension tracking station and Libreville tracking station, because it literally has, these are all the tracking stations we expect to get hit by tracking station. Okay. And I think that's a lot of terms. I can't remember if there's birds or anything. All right, so I'm gonna call it good here. They still have 40 minutes before they start their thing. Oof, maybe I did start too early. Let's switch to, just so you guys can see that I am still waiting on the stream. Now what? Bingo's done, essentially, unless we add way more things. I've got my models ready. We can do another Bennu image. Not really. I didn't hit generate, so give me 1 second to hit generate. And then I need the call list, and you need that. So copy. Oh, wow. I'm not on the right Steam account for launch. I mean, I can fix that. But I'm not on the right Steam account. So let me print off this. Hey, sucking cats. Let me print this off. Print. Close. Close. And, there you go. Can always bounce around in some Astroneer. This is true, and it doesn't really matter what account I'm on for Astroneer because it saves both. Oh no, it does. Oh wow, I did not mean for that to come flying down. It does, because I think it might show my, It's okay. I can't remember if I just play by myself, if it shows my username or not. Let me get the call thing. And where are the dogs? Have some dogs. Let me get the call thing. Here. You want some Cheerios? Is this what you want? What? Oh, how he heard it and came running.
Heard him hit the door of his cage. Oh no.
Well, it's close to their dinner time. How's there a Cheerio on my seat?
They're everywhere. They've traversed from this house to Austin Town to other areas of Youngstown.
There are Cheerios everywhere, man. I don't know how I feel about this. They do just migrate. They really do. Okay. What, you want more? Really? You want more? Does this mean you won't bug me for dinner later? She does, and she'll whine so much until she gets more, too. Yeah, it is kind of creepy how she looks directly into the camera, isn't it? So, fun fact, the camera is between me and them, so they're really looking at me. Puck, sit. Come on, buddy, sit. He's like, no, I'm not gonna sit, Mom. You can do it. Come on, Puck. Sit. I had to do the hand signal to get him to sit. Good boy, Puck. But yeah, the camera is between me and them. So when I look over here, that's pretty much where the camera is. Because I'm making eye contact with Puck right now. Do you want this? Do you want this? Go get it. I think Tinker got that one. But yeah, it's a neat effect, isn't it? It looks like they're looking right at you. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. My little setup, it's messy. I should really get it really clean and then take a picture just so I have a reference picture to show you all, like, this is what my area looks like. But Tinker's crate is right next to my desk. And on top of Tinker's crate is the doggy cam. And yes, my desk is right next to the front door, which is why you see legs go through the front door all the time. And I think I started a stream early on a Sunday? I think it was on a Sunday. And just as I had clicked start stream, my mom comes walking, my mom comes walking up onto the porch, which set my dogs off. And there's my mom's legs just crossing the stream as she drops off her dog. This really happened, real stuff. So, if I ever consider shearing him, you would totally want the fur. I don't know how I feel about shearing him. He's an American Eskimo, and the breeder told me not to cut him. To cut his fur. So, like, part of me is like, I really should. But part of me is like, I don't know. I really need to brush him better because it'll help release some of the mats, because he does have a double coat. He does and doesn't like to get brushed. He doesn't like his rear end being brushed, and that's usually where it's the worst. So he's kind of sensitive. I can comb him for a little bit. But he doesn't like it. He likes the same de-shedding tool that's used on horses as dogs. He likes that. So. Gluten-Free Space says, fun fact, dogs' brains release endorphins when they look at their human's face. I believe it. Tinker's like, I shall stare at you, and you shall toss me Cheerios. Alright. Which lamp is causing the problem? That lamp is causing the problem. That lamp is still causing the problem. Ha 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 ha. Me and my fancy light setup. Okay, so Now the dogs are just missing a light. Once the dogs get a light, it'll be all gone. So Kerbal's working on a Bennu image. I'm thinking that might be the way to go. My brain releases endorphins when I look at dogs with pretty hair. Yeah. There's someone in the US that will take dog hair, wash it, and spin it for you. I think Favorite Human would be a little disturbed if I had that done, though. Had somebody spin Puck's fur into yarn, you would be disturbed.
I don't know what's happening here, but this has nothing to do with me. I just walk away.
Would you call it white people stuff? He's giving me that look that says, yes. Why did you ask? Of course it's white people stuff. Yeah, is what I've marked as a crater actually a crater? Let's look. It's actually hard to tell with the marks there. Do you have an image without the marks? It's okay. This is just an ongoing kind of joke between Favorite Human and I. Kerbal, do you have an image? Do you have a screenshot of this image without all the marks on it? Because if you do, I can better tell. If you don't, I can't really see. For those of you that are curious, this is what Kerbal sent me. I'm assuming this is the other image. I would say that big one is awfully suspiciously empty, and I would actually, part of me is like, I'd make the circle bigger, but I think the circle, the crater circle that you have is probably a good size. The one that's next to it, I'd also agree is possibly a crater. Something happened there to leave a circular mark. It's just, it is, part of me is like, it's way too circular. And that third one all the way on the left, I'd say leave it how you have it. I'd say leave it how you have it, honestly. Because other people are going to mark too. Alright, so switch to the other picture-in-picture, which doesn't help because it's buried under other stuff for me. So we have 30 minutes. Okay, I think we're gonna do it, Puck. I think we're gonna do it. I don't want to do it, but I think we're gonna do it. Oof, oof, oof. I'm just gonna leave it like this because it's just easier to leave it full screen like this. Oh wait. There we go. There are indeed so many rocks. So many rocks, so many boulders. Hey, Favorite Human?
Yeah.
Could I convince you to mark rocks and boulders on Bennu?
Right now.
In general.
In general, potentially, yeah.
Part of me is like, what are you doing right now?
Going over some stuff.
Okay. Pressuring? Somebody's yelling at me for pressuring you. I'm not pressuring him. He's sitting playing on his phone. Doing, well, maybe not playing, but doing something on his phone. I'm not pressuring him. I think. Alright, that one's longer than 3 dots. Press ganging? You mean voluntelling? Which is a made-up word in English. So there's volunteering, and there's telling somebody to do something, and then there's being like voluntold. So like you told somebody to do something, but you know, you were voluntold. So somebody else volunteered you for you without your consent. Yeah, because press ganging, I'm like, when the press gang's up on you? Ah, yes, voluntold. Press is in a horde of journalists? I mean... it would work. It would work. Sailors were press ganged into ship duty in the harbor taverns during the 17th and 18th centuries mostly. Oh, wow. Hey, look! There were more! There was a sub! Thanks for resubscribing, Bad Panda Bear! The dogs are already getting in position. Are you gonna get in real position? Alright. And speak! Puck, speak! Right. Good girl, Tinker. And make it rain. Alright. We're getting that one bark down. Just the one bark. She's very food motivated. I'm surprised she caught on to the whole speak thing at all. It only took her, what, forever?
Yeah.
It only took her forever. Alright, so I hope you all are marking Bennu. Because we gotta power through this. I actually kind of wish this image was slightly darker. But alas, it is not. Last image, yeah, DPI. I know you've done a bunch today. Food is very important, Socking Cats. Yeah, what is for dinner? Guido's not here, so we have to ask you. Human, what are we having for dinner?
Man, that's one of those questions, right?
I mean, we did just eat. We did just eat. Alright, that should have been marked as a rock and not a boulder. Rock, 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 rock. There we go. Rock, 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 rock. Guido's like, I'm here, but I was just debating whether to go to bed or wait for the launch, and dinner was hours ago. Well, the launch is probably going to be another... Let me see. Am I gonna be able to read the... It's going to be another... close to an hour, I think? So... I don't know. What are you doing tomorrow? Do you have anywhere important to be? You have to get up early? "46 minutes. That's what I thought. An hour, 46 minutes. You know. If you're gonna stay up for the whole launch, you're gonna be up for a couple hours. But if you're just gonna stay up and watch, you know, the rocket take off, It's not too bad because it's... Oh, there was a follow! Thanks for the follow, Steampunks! And here's the cheers. And Peck Speak.
Speak. What?
Tinker Speak?
Speak.
Alright, good boy. And make it rain! There we go. Puck says thank you. Tinker says thank you. I say thank you. I mean, you could justify 45 minutes. Yeah! See? Fun things happen when alerts come across my screen. Reward you all with, you know, doggies. And the big fluffy white one is Puck, who is the one that barked that time, and the little black dog is Tinker. She's a dachshund, and she's usually the very vocal one. But if they hear sound outside, they're both going to be vocal. Arianespace doesn't wait for you, your employer has to wait for Arianespace. Tell them we said that. Yeah! That's a super neat feature, isn't it? Although that should have been marked as a boulder. So let's just move that rock mark over there. It's a super neat feature because I often get caught up on the rock thing too. These are some weird things. Guido says, still love how you Americans pronounce dachshund. Dachshund.
Dogs.
I mean, we also call them dachshund, like D-O-X-E-N. Doxies, D-O-X-I-E-S.
Or the Wiener Schnitzel.
And you know what? The Wiener Schnitzel, which is also apparently a restaurant in the U.S., fast food restaurant, Wiener Schnitzel. Halloween, there's always like hot dog costumes for dachshunds. Yeah, it could be 2 X's, but usually when it's spelled, it's only spelled with 1 X DPI. And wiener dogs. So, yeah. Yeah, I know it means badger dog. I totally, and she really is a hunting dog. Oh my goodness. I've never trained her as such.
Same for that.
She wouldn't go into holes as a puppy, like groundhog holes, but she's taken a groundhog or 2 down in her day. She's amazing. So Dax is pronounced like Dax, so Dachshund. Dachshund. I think when I was first talking about getting her, I was talking to somebody on a field trip when I was at Walter Reed, and she kept correcting my pronunciation. And I know it's a very lazy American way of saying it. So, yeah. Haha, it's true. Nothing comes from it. Nothing good comes from bad borderline. Dachshund. But yeah, she kept correcting my pronunciation, and I'm like, I'm just so excited I'm getting this dog. Because I knew she was, I knew I was getting her way before she actually arrived. I think I knew I was getting her in, like, August? September? She was born in August, so I knew I was getting her in September, and I didn't get her till, like, November. Or something like that. I got her when she was 3 months old instead of 2 months, like Puck. So. Badger, 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 mushroom, mushroom. Part of me is like, I'm about ready to call in or throw in the towel with all these rocks. Because there's just a lot. Snake, it's a snake, oh, it's a snake. I need to introduce my nephew to that. You guys think Flame Lord would get a kick out of that? I think he'd get a kick out of that. There is no escaping the song. It's an amazing meme that has, you know, survived from the Flash animation days. Hey, human. Badger, 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 badger.
I'm totally confused.
You don't know what comes next?
I do not.
How do you not?
I stay in my own bubble. Yeah.
Are you too young?
I don't know.
I don't think you're too young to know it.
I don't think so.
There. We'll toss more cheers for the dogs. I will apparently have to play that for favorite human later. Look at my horse. My horse is amazing. Introduced to that by playing a massive multiplayer online role-playing game. I remember being really amused by it, and you know, it's been saved on YouTube, thankfully. Thankfully. Oh, I can't even tell if these are like gravel or just bumpy, or I don't know what they are. I feel like I'm overmarking because I don't know what they are. And I know my marks going with everybody else's marks, and all right. Bennu, I think you've claimed, you know, my soul for the day. Because you're just too weird. Hey, there's things happening. Perfect. So give me 1 second to deal with all the sounds. Wow, I still have a lot of windows open from earlier. Where's my other thing? There it is. Yep. Give me 1 second and I will fix it.
This is the English soundtrack from the Arianespace Center in
Oh, they're playing their really annoying one. Yeah. That's what they're playing. I will save your ears. So, I was trying to get rid of Bennu, but at least now I can make it full screen. Guess we can turn Bennu back on. But I know I'm not going to finish an image in time. No. Bennu, no. We're not doing this. We're not doing this, Bennu. It's not happening. So this is what we're gonna do, Bennu. We're just gonna... We're just gonna do that. Okay. But we're at 1,671 images done. So that's progress. So what happened to the stream, to the streamception? They're not quite ready to start. And so 4509 divided by 2 minus 16 71. We are 583 images away from being halfway. We can do it. We can do it. Okay. So, let's get our bingo cards ready, shall we? While we're waiting. I will not do the French audio. So let's get our bingo cards ready. And I think it's just bingo, right? No. Play bingo. There we go. So there's a current launch card. I have the screen up on my screen of what you will see. You want to click on generate card. It's very important. Generate card. And it will come up with this image and will tell you this is your own unique bingo card. Click a box to mark it. Click a box to unmark it. If you win, say bingo. Just type bingo into chat. If you're playing this game over multiple days, which we're not, bookmark this page or email the URL to yourself so you can get back to this card. So to make the bingo larger, you just click, okay, I understand. And then this is what your card should look like. And because there's always a free spot, go ahead and mark the free spot. So, yeah, free is free. Just go ahead and mark it. There are no prizes for winning bingo other than me saying, congratulations, you won bingo. Because we just want to keep this fun. Oh, Sock and Cats, you've never watched a launch with us before, have you? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I make it kind of easy. I really do. And anything that's up now will count. I'm not sure if this is their pre-roll. Oh, you have watched so many launches with me. Okay. It's like, that's like a common thing for foreign launches. So, I have to talk more so you remember me. Yes, yes you do. Because there's people that lurk and they finally say something. They're like, oh yeah, you're new. And they're like, we've been here long. What, talk more so you remember me? No, you just have to talk so I know you're there. Oh, wait. Nope, that's still more footage. Nah. You're not a spammer. Alright, let me pull up. I don't think there's any sound.
From the Arianespace Center in Kourou.
Yeah, no. Still testing signal. I was afraid of that. So we'll transition back. What is I'm just gonna call it Slida. It's probably not how it's supposed to be pronounced. It is the bit it's on my 2, and I think it's the bit between the 2 spacecraft. I have it on the launch kit, so share that linked launch kit to you again. But it is going to separate. SpaceX says test starfish. Arianespace says beep. They sure do. Yeah, they make SpaceX makes a launch packet or a launch kit. Arianespace makes a launch kit. SpaceX just doesn't put theirs out until like the day before, which is annoying. Arianespace puts theirs out a couple days in advance because they don't have too much stuff. So, hold on, I'm looking at the launch window. So they have, oh wow, they have like an hour and a half? Hour and 45 minutes? Hour and 45 minute launch time, or launch window. Oof, oof, oof. I don't think it gives us details on exactly what Slita is. But I think it's between the two satellites. And that's why it matters. Is it on Arianespace page? Aha! 2 satellites can be mounted using a Slita carrier. System de lancement double Ariane double launch system. So it is indeed going to be, it's there between the 2 satellites. It is exactly doing what I want it to do. Oops. Or what I thought it would do. And they can launch up to 3 satellites. And apparently they can do a lot of mini satellites. So that's neat. It is unpaintable. I don't know. I'm just gonna drink my coffee. Oh, I was thinking of crayons. Are you using Google Translate? Oh, incroyable. Crayons and incroyable. Which I am, my French pronunciation is terrible. Yeah, like I know it means incredible, but it kind of does look like the English word for crayons. A little. A mind-blowing thing that I had to point out to a Brazilian. So, yeah, I had French in school too, and I'm still terrible. So we'll just use that. I'm typing it in. Paranor says, I ignored the French I got in school. Oh my god. Alright. So Namorado? My Portuguese pronunciation is failing. So, that's the word for boyfriend or girlfriend. The ending is depends on gender in Brazilian Portuguese, right? So the word for love is amor, and it's tucked inside of that. And I remember pointing that out to a Brazilian, and they were like, wow! I was like, it's in the thing. So I think namorada is really like enamored, which is kind of sweet. Yay, language! Okay, that was the end of the coffee. That was the end of the coffee. I blame the French. Yeah, I blame the French for everything. What?
If you're on stream, you can't say that.
Okay, apparently I can't blame the French for everything. I've been reminded that I'm not allowed to blame the French for everything.
The manual on the phone is okay. I mean, not great, but okay.
See, if you're going to make comments from the peanut gallery, you have to come closer to the mic.
That's untrue. I'm here with Tinker. We are enjoying ourselves here.
Link to bingo. Play bingo. I guess I could take away the waiting on Arianespace stream, because I think it's kind of obvious that's what we're doing right now. Oops. I'll switch back in a second. some Cheerios, Puck, since you're laying by the door. I was gonna say, are you just gonna look at him, dog? Audio 4 does sound interesting. I don't know how to get to Audio 4. I don't know how to get to Audio 4. Because I guess there's also, like, SpaceX audio that doesn't have all the talking in it. And there's part of me that's like, I'd rather really listen to that than listen to all the other stuff. I'd rather catch all the comms traffic. Because we're nerds. Socking Cat says, this really reminds me of the ancient television when I was a kid. Look at Puck. Yeah, and then I tossed Cheerios at him to ruin it. He is adorable. Are you going to come here and be adorable too? No? You're just gonna... Okay. She's just gonna be there. Her ears flopped over and I need to fix it. Hey, Rough Matt, welcome back. We're literally waiting. If he doesn't hold the button in the camera, yeah, he does need to turn around. We're literally waiting on Arianespace to start their stream. He has a lot of fur. I should actually pull that up. They'll eventually start. They're running their test reel. Yeah, it's literally their test reel over and over. They normally start 20 minutes before, 20 to 25 minutes before the rocket goes off, and it could be longer. Wait, are things happening? I don't think things are happening. But, and EJ is working on his truck. How is it I'm it for this launch? Usually everybody's covering launches. I'm not complaining. I'm not at all complaining because I'm the best. Yeah. I was gonna say, I don't think Das and EJ cover, I know they both cover NASA and SpaceX launches. Because all the best people are here. Oh, that's so sweet. But I don't think they cover like ISRO launches and such. I don't think a lot of people covers all of them if they stream. Okay. Because I know I definitely make it a point to stream foreign launches. EJ is working on his truck, according to Jean Draloon, and Das is at some sort of rocket competition. He's live streaming from that right now, and it actually looks pretty cool. He knows because he can't get the best people. But yeah, I guess EJ's truck really needs fixed. I hope everything's okay with this truck. Spaceport America Cup College Sport Rocket Competition. That's where Das is. Thank you, Chandra. I'm like, I know he's at some kind of rocket competition. Hey, look, we got the official countdown now. It's about frickin' time. So I'm gonna hide the bingo board. And audio is normal, so I don't know why. Unless there's just no audio during the countdown. It's a pretty nifty countdown, isn't it? I am definitely impressed with their graphics. It's neat, clean. yeah, it's nice. It's like I'm looking at it to see how it works, and I think it's nice. HD. Oh shoot, yeah. Let me force it into 720 at least. Force it into, actually let me force it into 1080. There we go. Yeah, no, similarly sized vehicles are the comparable rockets are Long March 5, Proton M. It doesn't have a Soyuz rocket on here. Falcon 9 full thrust, Delta 4 heavy, Atlas 5, H2 Bravo. So yeah, and yeah, there's gonna be a delay between what you guys see on stream and what is actually happening on YouTube, and it's normal. All right, so now it sounds like I need to fix the audio. Oh, wow. Okay. I underestimated about how loud that was.
Welcome, bienvenue au centre spatial Guyanais, ici à Kourou, le berceau d'Arianespace pour un lancement de ce soir. C'est la marque de fabrique
d'Ariane qui trademark. On board this evening, two telecommunications satellites, T-16 and Eutelsat 7C. This is a relatively short mission this evening, which will last shortly over half an hour from liftoff until the satellites are separated. We're going to take a closer look at the launcher and its payloads, which we can just see about 15 kilometers from here. I'm out on the terrace at the Jupiter Center with a great view of the launcher and its satellites. Ariane 5 has a mass at liftoff of 775 tons and stands 51 meters tall, the length of an Olympic swimming pool. It's made up of the main cryogenic stage and two solid rocket boosters, and on top, the cryotechnical upper stage, the equipment bay, and the fairing, which encloses tonight's passengers. Built by Airbus Defence and Space in Toulouse, T-16 will provide DTH broadcasting services throughout the continental United States, and Eutelsat 7C will cover Africa, Europe, and the Middle East. And so to tell us a bit more, my colleague Joshua Jean-Paul is in the Jupiter Control Center.
Right, Lise. We are in the Jupiter Mission Control Building, which is the heart of the space base. The room consisting of two parts. We're out here with the invited guests and the customers. Behind us, through the glass into what they call the fishbowl, you can see the operational teams. To get us underway, we're going to go first for some opening words and interview with Arianespace Chief Executive Stefan Israel. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, we just have a couple of questions for you. First question, Flight 248 is the fifth Arianespace launch of the year. What makes it special?
Yes, it is the fifth Arianespace launch of the year, and it is the second Ariane 5 of the year, and we have already delivered 103 Ariane 5, so it is a 104. What is special for us tonight is the fact that we have two very loyal customers. For T-Says in upper position, it will be the 11th satellite we orbit for the customer since 1993. And regarding Eutelsat 7C, it will be the 33rd satellite we orbit for Eutelsat since 1983.
So two loyal customers, old customers,
yes,
going back a ways, both of them. Now, we know that Ariane 5 will put the two satellites in geostationary transfer orbit. Can you give us some more details about the mission?
Yes, so during all the days, the launcher has been prepared. And now, as you see on the screen, the launcher is on the launch pad. And at 6:44, we will have the ignition of the Vulcan and then the solid boosters. After 7 seconds after the H0, we will have the liftoff. The launcher will head towards the east, and it is a rather short mission. The mission duration will be 34 minutes. We will have the separation of T16 first after 27 minutes, and then we will have the separation of Eutelsat 7C after 33 minutes and 59 seconds.
59 seconds, all right. So, any other messages? Go Ariane.
The message is go Ariane, and as always with Arianespace, thanks to our customers.
Thanks to customers. Okay, Stefan, many thanks. Some very good information from Stefan, which can help you while you're watching the flight. Stefan's going to take his place inside the fishbowl. As we mentioned, he'll be back with us, of course, at the end of the broadcast for the speeches. Now, the Jupiter Mission Control Building, we mentioned, is the heart of the action, the brains of all the launch activities, if you will. On this side, we mentioned before, 250 seats. On the inside, depending on the mission, of course, between 50 and 60 seats. We're looking into the Arianespace High Command, which is the flight desk. Roland Lagier is the Chief Technical Officer. You can see him there. The team headed up by Stefan Israel, who's making his way to his post there. He'll be there shortly. If there's anything that comes up during the mission tonight, any question, anything out of the ordinary, these gentlemen there that you see there will have to make the decision. You might see them on the phones to their teams here across the base, back in Europe or around the world. These are the operational teams you can see there, but of course to launch Ariane or Soyuz or Vega, we need firefighters, we need the Army, we need journalists, we need a lot of other people. So launch is, of course, a very complicated business. We're going to go now for a short look at a preview of the launch mission you're going to see tonight, some things to look for. For that, back outside and over to Lise.
Thank you very much, Joshua. Merci.
Thank you, Joshua.
Tonight,
Tonight, as Stéphane Israël says, we have a liftoff planned for just after 21:43 UTC, 6:43 p.m. local time, and we have a very comfortable launch window of 1 hour and 47 minutes. That's very pleasant for us. And let's look together at the high points of this mission. Our launcher will head eastward, and after 2 minutes and 20 seconds, the solid rocket boosters will be separated. 1 minute later, the jettison of the fairing, and after slightly less than 9 minutes, the main cryogenic stage will be jettisoned, and 4 seconds later, the cryo-technical upper stage will ignite its engine to bring the satellite to their separation position. The launcher will be tracked by 5 ground stations located along its route towards the east. At the end of a relatively short mission, as Stéphane Israël said, we'll have the separation of the first satellite T-16, and afterwards the dual launch system SILDA, and finally the separation of Eutelsat 7C. Let's go back to Joshua in the Jupiter Control Center to hear some more.
Right, 8 minutes to go until liftoff. You saw the launcher on the pad outside waiting. Meanwhile, inside, these Arianespace program directors, you're going to have a look at them in just a moment. Valerie Boucher and Beatrice Romero, there's Beatrice, for the 2 satellites and their customers. Every Arianespace customer has one point of contact, one main point of contact, and that's the program directors. And this dates from the contract signing all the way through to well after the mission. You're going to see in just a moment on the screen the green bars, the green status panels, which will come up. What they are is a real-time summary of all the different launch services that are available at the base. We check them from time to time before lifting off. They are all the systems that the outposts all across the base send their information here to Jupiter, which is why we call Jupiter the nerve center. 2 other people you'll be seeing today, the mission director, Cyril Pornoy, with the DDO, who's going to call out the 7-minute mark.
Top, à 0 moins 7 minutes.
7-minute mark brings us into what's known as the automatic or the synchronized sequence, the tip of the iceberg, the final moments of the final countdown, and the computers are taking over now. What's happening, Arianespace being weaned from her roots on the ground, the onboard computers taking over to control all the flight coming up. So we're ready. Our stage is set. I would have a date with Lise up in the broadcast booth. While we're moving, take a look at a film on the launch campaign to see how Ariane is put together.
Hello from Kourou. My role as the Launch Complex Operational Manager is to plan and to coordinate together with the operational team all the operations of the launcher, the payloads and the ground installations to be ready in the right configuration as scheduled for a liftoff this evening. Both satellites, Eutelsat 7C and AT&T-16, are integrated on the launcher and are waiting well protected under the fairing.
Good evening. I am Cyril Poinroy, the mission director for the flight VA248. The passenger in the upper position, T-16, landed at Felix Hiboué Airport on the 14th of May. It was transferred directly to the S5C building. As T-16 has a double propulsion system, xenon and chemical, the first loading operation with 300 kilos of xenon was performed the 24th of May. After health checks, the oxidizer and fuel loading operations were performed from the 28th of May to the 4th of June in the S5A building. The flight meeting and the adapter was performed on the 5th, D-7, the first day of the combined ops schedule.
This marks the entry of the final phase of the launch campaign, which started on 23rd of April with the structural integration of the launcher, followed by the electrical and pneumatic controls in the launcher integration building. After the assembly and functional controls, the launcher was transferred on its launch table to the final assembly building on the 31st of May.
The passenger in the lower position, Eutelsat 7C, arrived at the airport on the 29th of May. It was transferred to the S5C building and then started the electrical checkout test. As Eutelsat 7C is a full electric platform and already loaded with 900 kilo of xenon, the flight meeting of Eutelsat 7C and the adapter was done on June the 7th. Then, the day after, the spacecraft was transferred directly from the S5C building to the BAF. The Eutelsat 7 satellite was installed on the launch vehicle on the 11th of June, followed by the T-16 on the 12th of June as part of the upper composite. The general West rehearsal was performed on Friday the 14th and went well. No more activities except battery charging are now scheduled until the launch.
After assessing the actual preparation status, the launcher readiness review shall give us the authorization to transfer to the launch pad on T-1. Today we have performed the fueling of both the cryogenic stages. Once the ground installations and the launcher are then put into flight configuration, we shall conclude with the final countdown sequence before liftoff. Special thank you goes to all the operational teams for their efforts and the contribution to take us through this so far very smooth launch campaign.
Joshua Jampel back in the booth with my friend Lise Pedersen. Good evening.
Good evening, Joshua.
Fifth launch of the year for Arianespace, the second Ariane 5 of 2019. 2 telecom satellites going up. Their combined weight just under 10.6 tons, only possible on an Ariane 5. Some 1,700 people working around the space base in all. Our cameras are here in Jupiter and, of course, out on the launch pad. But many others are at work in many other sites across the range. One of them is right here. This is the launch zone, where the launch management teams are working under the direction of the Launch Complex Operations Manager, Klaus Zell. You can see him here. You saw him in the film a moment ago. The work done up there carried out by 2 teams, one responsible for executing flight chronology, and the other responsible for verification of the flight worthiness of the Ariane 5 vehicle, the quality people. Now, the Launch Complex Operations Manager, Klaus Zell, coordinates with Mission Control for final authorization to launch. When all the conditions are right, he and nobody else, he then okays the automatic sequence that we just saw at -7 minutes. He unleashes that. In all, about 100 people up there, hard at work. Countdown, a very complicated process and a long one. Final countdown actually began at 7:20 this morning. That's 11 hours ago, with first checks of the inertial measurement and geometric units. The safeguard subsystem was switched on at that time. Split screen image here showing the propellant feeder arms in the middle of the launch vehicle, liquid hydrogen on the left, LH2, liquid oxygen on the right. What are they doing? Well, they're putting propellant into the upper stage tanks, and you'll see the arms pull back at 7 seconds before ignition, and you see them right there, the yellow bars going from the gantry on the right into the upper stage on the left. It's one of the last things you'll see before liftoff, so we just like to take a minute and point it out. Minute and a half to go. The electrical power supply has been switched on from the ground to on board. Remember Ariane weaning from her roots in the ground to autonomy in flight. And here in Jupiter, the invited guests have begun to make their ways outside to watch the liftoff.
Tous de DDO. Attention pour le I0, moins 1 minute.
The DDO is going to call out the 1 minute mark.
Top, I0, moins 1 minute.
So we're into the final 60 seconds. Give us a chance to say hi to all our friends at Maxar in the U.S., headquarters in Westminster, Colorado, and Palo Alto, California, where the teams who built the satellite are watching. To our friends at Eutelsat headquarters in Paris, where you're hosting a big event, good evening to you. Locally, to the French Guiana sites, to our industrial partners, to ESA and CNES, and to all of you following on the internet. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast. If you're not settled in, please do so. We will cut away, let you listen to the DDO as he calls out the final seconds. Remember, watch out for the cryogenic arms to open. That sets the ball rolling.
À tous de DDO, attention pour le décompte final. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, unité. Top. Allumage moteur Vulcain.
Go, 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 go!
Allumage UAP et top décollage. Les paramètres bons sont conformes à l'attendu.
Look at it go!
18:43 local time and right on time, you saw it. Ariane 5 began her mission roaring off from the ground here in French Guiana with a lot of fire going up through the thin cloud layer. We had so much rain today, we didn't think we'd have any visibility at all. But look at her go. She's carrying 2 satellites, 2 new telecom satellites, the 2 boosters providing 90% of our thrust right now, propelling the launcher along her trajectory at an ever higher velocity. 775 tons at liftoff. And to get that sort of mass off the ground, you need a lot of push. And you can see, push we have. She's burning 5 tons of fuel every second. That's 2.5 tons of fuel every second in each booster. And the core stage burning another 300 kilos of fuel per second. Into the blue sky she goes. Beginning her 5th mission of the year. Ariane 5 now following the program in the onboard computer, which gives all the orders, including stage separations, which we'll soon begin to see in about 20 seconds. We're in the first of 4 flight phases, and we'll describe each in turn and in detail. You can follow Ariane as she heads east across the Atlantic. The first 3 phases are powered, like this one, and the 4th is not. Right now, the first flight phase, the single first stage engine and the 2 boosters are burning. Another about 12 seconds for them. And they will be the first to be extinguished. And you'll hear that from the DDO, but also with the camera work we have, you'll see the flame out there.
Boosters?
Should be right about now. That looks like the flame out right there.
Nope.
You are. The 2 boosters falling
there
away.
They go.
The
there,
you see that
booster
very
separation.
Clearly.
Awesome.
And the dot in the middle, that is the core stage Ariane continuing on her way. Very clear shots. Haven't seen this in quite a while. The first flight phase using both cryogenic and storable propellant. Cryogenic in the main stage, the dot that's still burning, and storable propellant in the boosters, who have done their job. There are pros and cons to each. Cryogenic propulsion offers certain advantages. as getting us off the ground, and it is more precise. The DDO has confirmed, of course, separation of the two boosters. The boosters will fall away about 500 kilometers from shore into a protected area. Next up, fairing separation, and with this visibility, you'll probably be able to see that as well. And you can see that perfectly clear. The two light blue dots, those are the two halves of the fairing.
Yep, there's the fairing jettisoned.
Falling away from the mothership. We haven't seen clear skies like this in at least a year.
Wow.
So this is a wonderful, wonderful sight. Ariane, the main dot in the middle, the dot of light, is the first stage continuing again on her mission. The 2 points of light falling away, those are the halves of the fairing. We don't even need the onboard camera that we have because this is much better.
They have an onboard
fairing
camera.
Separation coming at 112 kilometers up, roughly, because we're out of the Earth's atmosphere. If you can take your eyes away from the site in the middle, just briefly look on the bottom left of your screen. We see our altitude 140 kilometers. And on the right, the bottom right, approaching 3 kilometers per second. Now, the speed we need to separate a satellite, if you remember, between 8 and 9 kilometers per second, roughly, because it's roughly the speed of the turning Earth. So when you see the numbers on the bottom of the screen approaching those figures, you'll know we're nearing separation time. Arianespace is part of Europe's space effort, which is a three-way affair among ESA, the European Space Agency, you saw Charles Biscoe there, the French Space Agency, CNES, and Arianespace, the third partner. You find them all here, along with the customers. Arianespace operating the family of launchers and marketing the launch services of the Ariane program, and the Ariane program, I should say. ESA funding new programs, and CNES overseeing coordination of all space-based operation. Guyana Space Center, the world's only dedicated commercial space base, where Arianespace operating the launcher family, Ariane 5, soon to be Ariane 6, Soyuz and Vega, soon to be the updated Vega C, Vega C4 consolidated. So we are on our way since 5 minutes using Ariane 5, the heavy lift launcher carrying 10 tons tonight. We're going to go to the first of what we hope are several launch replays. And you can relive those vivid, vivid pictures and those exciting moments as you saw Ariane come roaring off the pad. Other replays probably coming up. I'll interweave the commentary in between them. We're in the second powered flight phase, the single-engine core stage, still burning. Another minute or so to go before it shuts down. Here's your second replay. We have at the base here 5 or 6 observation sites, and we have cameras at most of them. Sites named for local birds. There's toucan, there's a colibri. Colibri is French for hummingbird. Here's another replay from the ibis, the red ibis. That's another bird. That's a observation site just back of us here on the hill. Look at that. We were so worried this morning because we had such rain and such cloud cover, and we thought we're going to never see anything. Ariane will disappear after 10 seconds into the clouds. But take a look at that. Wonderful. 7 minutes. We mentioned we separated the fairing now because we're out of the dense layers of the atmosphere, neither friction nor heating, which could disrupt the passengers. We can also get rid of any dead weight. We don't need it. The fairing weighs about 2.5 tons, so we can get rid of it now. Coming up, we're going to be picked up by our downrange tracking station at Natal over the border in Brazil, I believe, right?
That is right. And it looks now Natal has gone yellow, which means we have been picked up by our second tracking station, Natal over the border in Brazil, which tracks the lower stage burnout and separation. So, as we were telling you at the start of our broadcast, all of Ariane's trajectory has been designed to be followed from the ground. The launcher's functions and vital signs are recorded throughout the entire launch, and they're sent back to a network of stations that keeps constant watch on the health of her systems. In all, information on some 1,500 parameters is collected. And what do the ground stations like Natal do with all this information? Well, customers get immediate data on their spacecraft, which is, of course, very important. Some data are analyzed in real time, and other data are studied after the flight to learn how the vehicle performs on its mission, and a complete analysis is carried out in the weeks following the launch. So you just heard the DDO, talking about Natal in Brazil, which was picking up the signals. The complete analysis is carried out in the weeks following the launch. And that
all right, so I'm going to lower their audio. So I've been amused by the banter back and forth, and
we've had, as you've seen on the screen, the cutoff
MECO
of the
was just
lower
called
stage, the separation of the lower stage, and the ignition of the upper stage. You saw the ignition on the animation. Confirmation from the DDO of those three events coming on time at about 168 kilometers up. Those orders given in about 13 seconds by the onboard computer. Onboard computer, of course, taking over from the ground control. Lower stage falls into the Atlantic.
So while they're talking about mission-related stuff, there are bingo cards for this launch. We've called a lot of things. So I am going to slaughter your name, and my French pronunciation is terrible. So,
16 more minutes.
K-Nawaki? I'm going with K. I'm going with K. I'm so sorry.
That's its propulsion role. But we mentioned the fourth flight phase, which is
we try to use metric because the America is weird. For all the day-to-day stuff, we use Imperial Keinuki. Thank you. Keinuki. For all the day-to-day stuff, we use Imperial measurements, and so it's miles for distance, pounds for mass, or ounces, pounds and ounces, ounces, cups, pints, gallons for liquid volume measurements, and
as you know, this mission of VA248 Ariane 5
let me turn her down some more because she's kind of distracting in my ear. So let me turn her down before I continue. So we use all of that in our we use the Imperial system in day-to-day, and most Americans are familiar with the Imperial system, even though it's super difficult to convert different lengths, different units to larger units. Like, most people know that there's 3 feet and a yard, but when you're asked how many feet or yards are in a mile, it's some weird odd number that actually has to be memorized. Because when I was in school, I actually had to know how many feet were in a mile and how many yards were in a mile and for conversion. So there's that. Also, like, ounces to gallons also still gets me, and I've lived with this system my entire life. Pronounce my made-up name. So there are things that I'm familiar with because I have a science background. I'm very comfortable with the metric system because I like how you can take a centimeter and be like, okay, there's 100 centimeters in a meter. And some Americans were like, oh, no, that's too confusing. Until I told them, like, this is how this scales. It's all powers of 10. You don't have to do a lot of thinking. You don't have to do a lot of weird calculations. It's just do. And which they were like, wow, but we don't use that. And we actually have 2 sets of tools here. We have the Imperial set and we have a metric set. So working on vehicles can be tricky because if it's an American-made vehicle, it's probably going to use Imperial, but if it's a foreign-made vehicle, it's going to be metric. So that always slips me up. And like, I know for my scooter, it's all metric, which is great because I only have to carry one set of tools around on my scooter. So what I don't like doing is converting between imperial and metric. It just screws with my head. So, and yeah, tablespoon and teaspoon converting to ounces is indeed terrible. But I know that by volume, teaspoon I think is 5 milliliters and tablespoon is 15 milliliters. Most of the recipes are written in imperial units. A lot of people don't weigh their flour. They don't get the mass of the flour. They measure their flour by volume, which is also problematic because I do mass for my volume, or I do mass for like my flour and my sugar and things because it's just a lot faster. And so yeah, as far as the American university system goes, science, and I'm talking like chemistry, biology, all the sciencey things, right? All the sciencey things use SI units or metric units. Engineers, on the other hand, use imperial units. So, like, I understand newtons for force. I didn't even know that foot-pounds was a measurement for force until I took a calculus class with an older professor who's like, well, you need to figure out how many foot-pounds of pressure is on this. I'm like, what do you mean foot-pounds of pressure? Why can't I just use newtons? He forced us to do math in imperial units, which was just very uncomfortable for me. So, maybe it's more of mechanical engineers, but there's just, yeah, I had to deal with foot-pounds in a calculus class. So yeah, I think it is mechanical engineers, as Felstar is saying. But the thing that I do use, and I don't know how many, a thing that I do need to learn is how many liters, or the equivalent of a pint in liters. And I think they're starting to do this now. They are starting to do this now. So water bottles here in the US are sold in half-liter increments, or they're just sold by, they're 500 milliliters, which is 16.9 fluid ounces. But instead of putting 500 milliliters first, they put the imperial first. So a lot of people, and it's pretty standard to have a 500 milliliter water bottle. But, yeah, other than that, we really don't do it. The other metric unit that Americans are familiar with, hey, I'm talking here, is hold on.
First Arianespace launch for the Paris firm in 1983, Eutelsat 1. Tonight's is the third Eutelsat satellite launched by Arianespace and over half its lunar fleet. I think
I know they're talking, and it may actually be important, but we're going to continue talking about measurements that Americans understand instead. So, another metric measurement that a lot of Americans understand is liters, but we understand it mostly as 2 liters. Why 2 liters? Because it's very common to find 2-liter bottles of soda. Not joking. We buy our milk in gallons, and we buy our soda in liters. Not a joke. So 2-liter bottles are very, very common. 1-liter bottles can be found, but they're not in grocery stores. Favorite Human, who is not here, can tell you that he's found like 1-liter bottles of soda. I always get excited when I find 1-liter bottles of soda. And when I was younger, I remember seeing like 3-liter bottles of soda. So when I'm talking about massive satellites, since one, and this is very, oh, thanks for the follow. Here's some bits for the dogs. And make it rain. Since Americans usually understand what a 2-liter bottle, how much liquid that is, and how heavy it is, and because 1 liter of water is conveniently 1 kilogram, another unit of measurement that I use on the stream when I'm talking about satellites and mass is X number of 2-liter bottles. Not joking, because for me, that makes more sense to explain something that's given metrically in another metric unit. And I feel like it reinforces the fact that, oh, you know, a 2-liter bottle weighs 2 kilograms, more or less. It's not exact because, you know, the plastic has weight and some other stuff. And I don't really considering it dumbing it down as much as it's simplifying it. And if I struggle to understand it, I know I'm going to struggle to explain it. And there are times when I'm like, okay, how can I explain this to my nephew, who's 11? And if I can say, oh, puck weighs, I think somebody figured out the mass earlier, puck weighs like 2 6-liter, or yeah, 6 2-liter bottles. That's how it, that's how much puck weighs. Which, if he really wanted to think about how much 6 2-liter bottles of soda weighs, we can go to a grocery store and he can try to hold 6 2-liter bottles in one of those baskets. So, yeah, it's, I'd rather get more people comfortable with metric, and if that means turning mass into an equivalent of 2-liter soda bottles, cool, I'll do it. I have 0 problems doing it. Yeah, but beer comes in growlers, and growlers are like in ounces, and growlers are in ounces. Oh, thanks for the follow! More follows! And Puck, can you say thank you? Puck, speak. Tinker, speak. Come on. Arf. Okay, they both say thank you. So, make it rain. But a pint is 16 ounces. The growler I have is 32 ounces, and that's a small growler. But yeah, beer is sold in ounces, which annoys me. It should be sold in milliliters. Felstar says, let's talk about the difference between an American pint and an imperial pint. I know they're different. I don't remember how differently. Oh yeah, and Jean-Der Loon points out that oil in vehicles is indeed measured in liters. Like, oh, I'm a liter low. These are real things. These are real things. Yes. Keinuki, yes, I do stream rocket launches as often as I can. This is a very full week of launches. I have a couple days off because they are Chinese launches, and Chinese don't stream their launches. We'll get media from that afterwards, which I'll probably share in our Discord channel. Our Discord server, and I will probably talk about them next Wednesday on Daily Space, because I think the launches should slow down for next Wednesday. What makes you think I am not in the UK? See? If an imperial pint is larger than an American pint, I might be in trouble. China, let's talk about China not streaming their launches real quick. China doesn't stream their launches because reasons. I think some of it is a saving face thing. I think some of it's a security thing, etc, etc, etc. And the worst part is that they use the more toxic, I think this is what they use. One of the things that they use, I don't have the other one ready. I tore it apart. And I don't know where, oh, here's the other bit. I was like, I tore it apart, what'd I do with it? I think they use that as an oxidizer. I think they use that as fuel, or this is a fuel. It's toxic and it's solid, and bits land on Chinese and sometimes not Chinese villages. So, okay, I'm gonna unduck this and we're gonna listen, and I'm going to read through what y'all have written in chat, because y'all have been very chatty and I don't want you to miss in all this good stuff.
Tonight is the 71st launch of this version of the Ariane 5, the 310th mission performed by the Ariane family of launchers, and the 104th on an Ariane 5. T-16 and Eutelsat 7C are the 605th and 606th satellites launched by Arianespace, and they are the 213th and 214th to be launched by an Ariane 5. Before tonight, 374 geostationary satellites, both main and auxiliary payloads, have been orbited by Arianespace. 4 minutes to go, and the upper stage burn cut off due in 25 minutes. Up next, a look at Eutelsat's prime contractor, Maxar.
So, do we know if China is launching from spaceboat or overland? Both of the launches are going to be overland. Both of the launches are going to be overland, so debris is going to fall. We can usually get images of the debris. They'll show up on Twitter. And yeah, rockets are just ICBMs pointed up. So, they tend to use solid fuel. I can't ever remember if this is a solid. I know this isn't a good fuel, and I know this is typically liquid. I just need to make a note on my card. But these are more toxic. You don't want these anywhere near you. And this, you know, liquid hydrogen. Oops. And there goes my space filling model. Come on. It's a little awkward because there's nothing supporting it on the other end whenever I grab it, and it just splits apart. And liquid oxygen, which just makes water, which I tore apart.
For 3 hours after liftoff. Malindi was also the site of the San Marco launch pad, the Italian launch project.
So yeah, I do hope no one is hurt with the Chinese launches. I don't think there is. There's a lot of land in China. So look at Annie just breaking up atoms. Yeah, I know, right?
Cut off occurring
so
right on time. Ariane has now
the Ariane 5 used to use a form of hydrazine
when she separates T-16
that looked like this. Which is,
the
hydrazine is just the, let me put this other molecule down, is just the 2-nitrogen, and then it was called monomethyl hydrazine, and monomethyl is just one methyl, so one carbon with 3 hydrogen is a methyl group, and the hydrazine is literally this part with the hydrogen and hydrogen and nitrogen, and then UDMH, which keeps popping up, unsymmetrical dimethyl hydrazine. So again, working backwards, hydrazine is this part, the blue nitrogen, with the hydrogen and dimethyl, 2 methyl groups, and it's unsymmetrical because it's only on one side. Ooh, excuse me. So there's that.
As I mentioned to you earlier, starting with the Galliot Center here in French Guiana, and I was lucky enough to visit the CVI.
Separating atoms energy. I remember when nitrogen tetraoxide as a rocket fuel oxidizer was referred to red fuming nitric acid. It does indeed lend a very colorful bit to the launch, and you can definitely tell when they're used. RFNA is not DNTO. Is it very different? I think I missed something. Oh, red fuming nitric acid is not DNTO. Okay.
The idea being for the team as a whole to find its
rhythm. Okay, I see.
Right now the CVI team is following all the key flight data coming in and reporting the flight status of the launcher back.
There's so much stuff that I get confused.
The announcement you hear being made by
and
the range
that's
control
just
manager, or the DDO as he's called, come directly from the CVI.
And we are coming up.
There's so much stuff that I get confused.
On confirmation from the DDO on separation.
All right.
Of our upper passenger, you see on the left of the composite.
It's okay.
Blue and gray are the solar panels folded up.
It's okay that you make mistakes, because I'm going to make mistakes in French. Alright, I want to turn this back up.
The teams have gone through this before, but it does call for tremendous focus. You don't want to say tense, I guess concentrated, focused, gives you an idea. All eyes on the computer screens, all ears on the phones, awaiting word. There's the scheduled separation on the animation.
Séparation du satellite haut T16.
And that's what we were waiting for. Confirmation from the DDO. And you see Chris Ho looking happy. You will notice that the people in the hall here, after this first good news, successful separation of our first passenger,
Manœuvre d'orientation
T16,
au profit du système de lancement double Ariane.
That the people here in Jupiter politely holding their applause because the mission isn't over. We still have to separate our final passenger, Eutelsat 7C. That's coming up in just under 5 minutes, I would say. Before that, we have the Silda separation. The Silda, remember, that's the black bell-shaped structure on the left. Underneath that is Eutelsat. This structure lets us carry a second passenger. You'll hear the DDO call that out. Looking ahead, we have a minute before Silda separation. After separation, the satellites go to GTO. You've heard that term, geostationary transfer orbit. This will be the end of the Ariane mission, but life, of course, just beginning for the passengers. Ariane puts satellites into a transfer orbit, not the final orbit. The satellites get to their final slots under their own power, and that can use up a lot of the satellite's onboard fuel. And that fuel is its lifeline and its lifetime. Tonight's satellites have to live 15 years, remember, which is why it's important to save fuel. And this is done by what they call optimization of the trajectory. That's an Arianespace specialty. Ariane injects the satellites closer to their final orbits, and this is possible due to the extra performance capabilities of the Ariane 5 with its 10-ton capability. There you see on the animation scheduled separation of the Silda.
Séparation du système de lancement double Ariane.
And the DDO's confirmation of that. Out over the Indian Ocean. So we are still in the ballistics phase. T-16, take a look at what will be its first maneuvers in space.
Now that T-16 has separated from the launch vehicle, the customer teams will take over in the management of the layup phase. The first important step is expected about 15 minutes after separation, with the first acquired telemetry downlink. Within the next 2 hours, the platform initialization, including solar panel partial deployment, will be performed, followed by a sequence.
All right, I need to break this up.
Engine firings, beginning tomorrow, ending 5 days later.
Yeah, I need to break this up. So yeah, the Earth is round, the moon landing happened, and aliens may or may not be out there. We may also be in a zoo. We may also be being purposely ignored by other life out there. We might be in a simulation.
And then with the payload.
Woo!
Finally, delivery to the customer is expected by the end of
Veronica
summer.
says, "Cause the eclipse showed a round circle."
On station orbital location.
Have I met the rest of these meat puppets? Oh my.
Eutelsat 7C is the first all-electric satellite built by Maxar. All-electric propulsion, very interesting trend in the industry. Lets you cut your mass at liftoff by half. And you notice that the Eutelsat weighs about half of the T-16. The trade-off, however, is that it's less efficient for orbit raising and getting to your final destination. Now, in Maxar's case, the satellite will be handed over to Eutelsat in the fourth quarter of the year. That's after 120 days. So what they did was simply order the bird 4 months earlier and solve the problem. We're coming up on upper stage. No, we won't. Not upper stage cutoff. We're coming up on our last video, relationship between Arianespace and Eutelsat.
We are very close to the end of the mission, and we are back with Ariane before the spacecraft separation.
This campaign has been shorter than usual. It benefited from the capability of Maxar to load all the xenon propellant in Palo Alto. With no auxiliary propulsion system, we also avoided hazardous fueling operation in Kourou. We have therefore been able to move directly to a combined operation just after the completion of the standalone test, which Maxar executed very efficiently.
Our work will be almost finished after sending the separation order, but you have a lot to do from this point on. What are the main operations that will follow the separation of the spacecraft from the launch vehicle? And when is planned to arrive to the final orbit and to enter into service?
The first important LEOP operation will involve the deployment of the solar array, followed by the electric thrusters. After initial checks are made, the orbit raising phase is expected to last just under 4 months. The in-orbit test will follow shortly afterwards, aiming for a start of the service by the end of 2019.
Alright, so Gluten-Free Space is asking, at what point does altitude become distance?
Eutelsat separation.
I don't know.
Mass at liftoff, can you remember back? 775 tons. What's left of that, do you think, of the composite on the right of your screen? We got the upper stage, empty of its fuel, 4 tons. Vehicle equipment bay, 1 ton. Eutelsat, 3.4 tons. And an adapter, 100 kilos. Roughly 8.5 tons. Less than 10 tons placed in orbit, down from 775 tons to get them there. So most of her weight, you have realized, is fuel. Coming up on separation of Eutelsat tonight, representing years of work for many of these people. Across the base, everyone attentive as we near separation, as they await the DDO's confirmation of separation of their satellite, just like the T-16 people went through the same moments ago. Again, a moment of high concentration. And there's a scheduled separation, waiting for the DDO confirmation.
Séparation du satellite bas E7C.
All right, well, you heard the applause and you see the smiles, and the cigars and the champagne will be forthcoming. Smiles all around. The final good news, Ariane 5 delivered her second passenger Eutelsat 7C over the Indian Ocean. So from the tense minutes just moments ago, you see the change here in Jupiter all across the space base, and at all the points across the world where people are following the launcher and the successfully deployed satellites. Work is just beginning, or soon will be, at the ground stations. Now, if we've got a minute before our speeches, time for the quiz question. You ready for this?
I'm ready, Josh.
All right, listen up. Can you guess how many kilometers Ariane 5 will fly during her mission tonight? I repeat, once again, Arianespace quiz question number 248. How many kilometers will Ariane fly, will she have flown, in all during her mission tonight? You got an idea? If you do, hold on to it. I'll give you the answer in a moment. Eutelsat LEOPS, her first 2 acquisitions in Australia, in Yangara and in Urala. Solar array, 3 hours after liftoff, 4 months of orbit raising, remember. We're waiting for the traditional post-launch speeches, and we'll be hearing from Stefan Israel of Arianespace, the podium being set up right now. After Stefan Israel, Aziz Bouya of Airbus Defence and Space, Johan Leroy from Eutelsat, and Paul Este from Maxar. Some of these people seated on the VIP side.
So I'm just going to kind of duck it and mute and everything. So everything went well. There are a lot of things that are crossed off on my list. How's come nobody has called bingo? So I'm going to read through my list.
You can relive those moments half an hour ago.
I'm going to read through my list of things that you should have crossed off. So AT&T/DirecTV, VA248, Arianespace, Malindi tracking station, any word not in English, shot of the control room, customer, liftoff, Maxar, Maxar Technologies, communications, people cheering, payload separation, liquid hydrogen, nominal, 7C separation, ascension tracking station, orbit, Slida, Libreville tracking station, fairing jettisoned, onboard power, dogs barking, booster separation, that's EAP booster separation, 7 Charlie, 7C, locks, LOX, Eutelsat, Natal tracking station, Tango 16, that's T16, and Tango 16 separation. So there was a bingo.
Let me first thank our customer.
All right, so now we're going to listen to the thanks.
26 years after DBS-1, this 11th mission together is a new bright success. I would like to thank Christopher O, T16's mission director, with us tonight. Thank you for your trust. I also want to congratulate our long-lasting partner, Airbus Defence and Space, for the delivery of the satellite. Indeed, T16 marks the 130th ADS-made satellite that Arianespace has orbited. Thank you for this remarkable partnership. I would like to thank Aziz Bouya, Head of Telecom Satellite Programs, who is with us tonight in the CSG. Now, I want to express my deepest gratitude to our second customer tonight, Eutelsat. Tonight, we celebrate the 33rd successful mission together since 1983 with ECS-1. ECS-1 has flown aboard the 6th Ariane. Between the historical 6th Ariane launch and our new launcher Ariane 6, there is our fruitful partnership with Eutelsat. Eutelsat has been the first commercial customer to have bought a geo-launch aboard an Ariane 6. And indeed, we have a lot to do together because we have seven more Eutelsat satellites in our backlog. And we will soon orbit 2 more satellites for Eutelsat, Connect and Quantum. So I would like to express my warmest thanks to Rodolphe Belmer, CEO of Eutelsat. Rodolphe is with his teams in Paris. So thank you very much, Rodolphe. And we have tonight with us a special representative from Eutelsat, Mr. Johan Leroy, who is Deputy CEO and CTO, and who is our best negotiator and partner. We are looking forward to welcome you here again, Johan, and all the Eutelsat teams for our next flights. I also want to congratulate our US partner, Maxar, and Paul Este, Chief Operating Officer, who is with us tonight. Eutelsat 7C marks the 64th Maxar satellite launched by Arianespace. Thanks for this long-lasting partnership. Now, let me congratulate all our partners who played their part in tonight's success. The second for Ariane tonight, they are the Ariane family, and I would like really to thank them. ESA and all the member states of the Ariane program whose support is essential. Ariane Group, Ariane 5 prime contractor and first shareholder of Arianespace. CNES, Ariane 5 Design Authority and our daily partner here in the Guyana Space Center. Also our contractors in French Guyana and all employees at the launch facility. And of course, and you will understand it, I want to pay my tribute to all my Arianespace colleagues. It is for Arianespace the 5th success of the year, which is absolutely remarkable. So I would like now to welcome on the stage our customers and partners. Thank you very much.
Wonderful evening. Thank you, Stéphane, for this first speech. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Airbus and our customer, I would like to thank Arianespace, Ariane Group, CNES, ESA, and Airbus for making this launch a great success. Very warm thanks to Chris, our customer, for his dedication and hard working during this campaign. Well done, and thanks again. It was also a pleasure to share this launch with our friends and colleagues from Eutelsat and Maxar, and we made it together. So this VA248 launch is a special one for us, because it is the 50th Eurostar 3000 that we are launching and made by Airbus. These days, we are as well celebrating the 50th anniversary of Airbus company. So no doubt for Airbus folks today, The winning number is 50. The T-16 satellite that we just launched is an impressive extra-large spacecraft in terms of mass, size, power, and capability as well for the DTH broadcast on its coverage. T-16 has been delivered on time, and this once again proved the Airbus industrial excellence. I would like to thank all Airbus team across Europe, led by Jean-Michel, who contribute to this achievement. The job is not over. Our team back in Toulouse is working as we speak to rise T-16 on its final orbital slot and to do all the in-orbit testing during the summer. And then the spacecraft will be fully operational end of August. So it's time for all of us to celebrate this very special success and very wonderful launch. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. I'm delighted to be here in Kourou once again, this time for the launch of Eutelsat 7C. Arianespace is one of Eutelsat's most long-standing partners, and vice versa. We've been working together since our first launch in 1983. At the time, it was Ariane 1. Some of us were not born. And it is a pleasure to be able to celebrate yet another successful launch with you today, our 33rd together in almost as many years. We are also very pleased to share this success with our satellite manufacturer, Maxar, as well as with our partners for this launch, Airbus and AT&T. You've heard a lot about Eutelsat 7C already during this evening, so I will not repeat. This satellite will be located at 7 degrees east, one of our most dynamic video neighborhoods, which already broadcasts 500 channels and serves key customers such as Digiturk in Turkey, Azam TV in Tanzania, and Movie TV in Zambia. We look forward to putting it into service to continue building the momentum at this orbital location. Eutelsat 7C is the third satellite to be built by Maxar for Eutelsat. It is the first all-electric satellite to be built by Maxar Technologies, and we are proud, Paul, to have worked together with you on this over the past few years. Eutelsat 7C will be the fourth all-electric satellite to join the Eutelsat fleet. And there are 4 more to come out of the 6 we have under procurement. So what's next for Eutelsat 7C? Actually, this is just the end of the beginning. First, the good news is that it's crying. We link from the stations we have in Australia. The Eutelsat and Maxar teams have taken control of the satellite from Palo Alto, and over the next few hours, we will therefore deploy the solar panels, followed by the electric thrusters. This will be for us the moment when we can confirm that we are really on our way. The satellite will climb gradually to the 7 degrees east orbital location, where it is expected to go into full commercial service by the end of the year. To conclude, I would like to give my big thanks to all the teams who have worked hard over the past weeks, months, and years, and who have made this success possible. In particular, for Maxar, Grant, Michel, Greg, Paul, but also John,
and Lucio. For Ariane Group, Roland, Cyril, Béatrice, Geneviève, as well as Jacques, and for CNES, Hugues and his team. I could not end without thanking as well the Eutelsat technical teams in the engineering, satellite operations, fleet deployment, and service operations, who have not only been working day and night over the past 3 years, but who are going to continue over the next weeks to make this fully a reality. I won't name you all, but I would like to tell you that first, the holidays are not for now yet, and second, that you are doing a fantastic job, and I am very proud to be your boss. I would like to end by saying hello to the Eutelsat teams who have followed the launch in all parts of the world, and especially in Paris, where I know that a lot of my colleagues, as well as many members of the Eutelsat family, are watching us live. I'm sure that you are as proud as I am tonight to be a member of the One Eutelsat team. As the German philosopher Hegel said, nothing great in the world has been accomplished without passion. The good news is that we are passionate, and let's keep it that way. Go Eutelsat 7C. Thank you.
Bonsoir, Mesdames et Messieurs. Thank you, Johan, for your kind words. Appreciate it. On behalf of Dan Jablonski, CEO of Maxar, I would like to thank Stefan Israel and the entire Arianespace team for another successful launch of a Maxar Solutions satellite. This is the 64th launch of a Maxar satellite on an Ariane rocket, beginning with the launch of Eutelsat 503 in 1983. Durant ces 37 années, Maxar et Arianespace ont travaillé ensemble.
During these 37 years, Arianespace and Maxar have worked together at the highest level of quality and service. During these years, we had collaborated very professionally together and resolved technical problems. And at this moment in our joint history, we have really developed a terrific partnership, which is great for our partners and clients. We had today a launch with, we also have signed up for a launch on Ariane 6.
Maxar is particularly proud of our successful delivery of the Eutelsat 7C satellite to Eutelsat. It is our first all-electric satellite. In addition, this is the first satellite of our second-generation lithium-ion power generation system, which provides increased performance and flexibility for our customers. Le développement et lancement de satellites représentent des milliers d'heures du travail.
The development and launch of a satellite represents hundreds of man-years, and I'd like to thank every employee and our subcontractors for their hard work on this project.
Based on Maxar's decades-proven 1300-class platform, Eutelsat 7C is equipped with 44 Ku-band transponders and a steerable antenna beam, which enables Eutelsat to adjust coverage as needed while the satellite is on orbit. The satellite also carries a highly innovative photonics payload, which will demonstrate technologies to enable more efficient payload designs in the future. Félicitations à toute l'équipe de cette mission réussie.
So,
Merci.
Congratulations to all for this successful mission. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as our dear colleague from Maxar has spoken French, I will go on speaking my very special English, which has a slight flavor of French.
So again, congratulations to all. I think we can celebrate tonight also the friendship between the US and Europe, because it's a perfect teaming. We have a US customer and a US satellite manufacturer, and a European customer and a European satellite manufacturer. And this is one of the beauty of Ariane, to do this kind of achievement. So July will be a very busy month for Arianespace. We will be back here in the Arianespace Center on July the 5th with Vega. It will be the 15th launch of our light vehicle, and it will be for the United Arab Emirates. After this very special event, we will be back on July the 24th, and it will be with Ariane 5, and we will then deliver for IS-34 for Eutelsat and IDRSC for Airbus. Thank you very much, and have a good night. Thank you very much.
So I think that's the end of the stream.
Second launch this year, a rousing success with our two new satellites, T-16 and Eutelsat 7C. Arianespace very proud and happy to continue helping these old customers, old friends in their space efforts. It's been an exciting evening. We're glad you could share it with us.
Very, very exciting. And a very, very big thank you to the teams who've worked so hard to make it possible to bring you this live video transmission of Arianespace's flight VA248.
Did you get the answer to the quiz question? How many kilometers did Ariane fly tonight?
17,000 approximately. I cheated, I looked on your sheets.
Did. Yeah, I figured you did. That's too good for a beginner. 18,700 horizontally, 8,100 vertically. And thanks to Antoine and Remy and Thomas at the CBI who verified those figures for us. Manu, can we have the replay, please? Because we are going to say goodbye over the final shots of the launch replay. We'll bid you good evening as the two new birds wing their way home.
Goodbye, and thank you very much. And we look forward to being with you again very soon. À bientôt.
Over these final shots of Arianespace's fifth launch of the year, we'll say goodbye. Joshua Jampel with Lise, and on behalf of everybody here at the Space Center, we hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Good evening, everybody.
All right. Okay, y'all can hear me. So there's a shot. Oops. Did I just... Okay, no, I didn't break anything. So here's a shot of the launch, a replay of the launch, so to speak. So, I am not Suak, and anybody else who missed it, I'm just gonna take these off because I know the reflection's terrible. All right. Ugh. My new glasses are coming soon, I promise. Okay, so I'm going to transition to that. And we're going to dump a whole lot of Cheerios for the dogs. Come here, dogs. Come here. Come here. Come here. Speak. Come on. Speak. Oh, good boy, Puck. Good boy. Anyways, here's the Cheerios. And make it rain. All right. So, yeah, DPI, this, I think Keinuki is talking about, how they wish the side boosters, which were present on this launch because you and I talked about it beforehand, were replaced with liquid instead of solid fuel. And Keinuki is saying that the rocket being developed as Ariane 6 successor won't use solids. I guess everybody's going for the cryogenic kind of fuels and oxidizers. So yeah, I heard them say there were onboard cameras, but I really don't know. We get a beautiful view from the ground, and I'm happy with that. So they mentioned that there's a launch on July 5th. Let's talk about that real quick. So the week of July 4th, and July 4th, for those that don't know, is Independence Day, a federal holiday that's very much celebrated in America. And we're taking that week off. And by we, I mean Dr. Pamela and I are both taking that whole week off from streaming. There will be no Daily Space. There will be no rocket launch coverage. There will be no Science Sunday. None of that. We are taking that week off of streaming because even though Weekly Space Hangout and Astronomy Cast take a hiatus, we're not taking a hiatus of any sort that I know of. So yeah, we're not going to be streaming that launch, and I will remind you of that. We will remind you of that as it comes closer to that week, that we're just taking that week off. We need a break, things of that nature. So, and there's another week where I won't be around, so I don't know how we're going to handle that. And there's some chatter about Ariane 6, and I know next to zero things about Ariane 6. So, yeah, no, I've been pretty ready for a break. Favorite Human and I are going on vacation in August, and I am just not streaming while we're on vacation. So he is very, very patient. Like, this is his day off, and I've spent most of it in front of a computer. A space vacation? No, but hopefully we'll get to do some geeky stuff. It's unclear. It's like, I've known about this vacation, and I know what he wants to do, and I know what I want to do, and they don't necessarily mix. So it's all right. Have some more Cheerios. Yeah, favorite human is amazingly patient. He just wants to know when I'm done. So he's off tonight, or he was off today, he's off tomorrow. This is his weekend. This is his normal weekend. And yeah, so I'm going to roll the credits. Before I roll the credits, I'm going to do the wall of text. So this is your last chance to ask questions if you really have any questions. I feel like launch coverage covered all of that really well for us. And suggestions of who to stream. I don't know if Daz is still going. If Daz is still going, we'll raid him again. And things of that nature. I don't think there's any housekeeping stuff going on. Das is still going. That's who we're gonna raid then. We're gonna raid Das. Because Das is playing, covering, people playing with rockets. Because rockets. Yeah. So you guys have been having an interesting conversation in chat. If you're not on our Discord, feel free to go ahead and join our Discord. It's free to join our Discord. You do need to agree to the rules. We have a bot that handles it. Honestly, go to the channel called Rules and Info, read the pins. If the rules are not translated into your language, I would be surprised. And just follow the instructions. If you even type anything close to what the instructions say, I will go through and manually add the rule to you, but I might not be around tonight to do that. But yeah, come hang out with us in our Discord. You'll get notifications of when we go live. You'll get support if you're marking Bennu. And we have space memes and spacey art and stuff. So yeah, that's our Discord. What else? I'm tired. My brain is tired. So essentially, I'm just going to try to go into autopilot and do the wall of text. So first of all, we are brought to you by you. Thank you for all of your generosity, all of your support, be that emotional, community, financial, otherwise. Right now, one of the best ways that you can support us involves not spending money. Hooray! You can support us by giving us a follow, because follows are free, And you can also inflict us upon your friends, your family, and your colleagues. If you do want to support us financially, there are several ways you can do that. A reminder, your Twitch subscriptions, if you have Amazon Prime, you get a free sub on Twitch. Your Twitch subscriptions help, your bits help, your patronage on Patreon helps, buying our merch helps. But if you can't afford any of that, just remember, follows are free. Sitting and hanging out with us is free. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But we are really here. I am really here because of you. So thank you all. I really, really do appreciate it. It's awesome that I am going to be able to like actually be like, hey, I covered a launch. Can I have my monies? Because yes, I draw a paycheck for this, and that is literally because of you guys. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all of your support. I really do appreciate it, and so do the dogs. Speaking of the dogs. That did not bring them running. I think they want real kibble for dinner. So this has been a production of PSI, that's Planetary Science Institute in Tucson, Arizona, working in collaboration with Youngstown State University here in Youngstown. Will it ever stop raining, Ohio? I'm sorry, I am so tired. We normally stream Sunday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Right now that is 1700 hours UTC. If you follow us, you'll get a notification. We also stream random science, random launches as they happen. And there's occasionally a Bennu support stream. So we can mark rocks together on Bennu. And just be like, why, Bennu? Why? Why are you covered with boulders and rocks and boulders and rocks and boulders and rocks and maybe a crater? Speaking of Bennu, we are still not the halfway point. Once we get to the halfway point, we'll do a celebration stream. We'll pick something together as a community to do as a celebration. It can be playing video games, to you guys picking something that I teach you about, to me building Legos on stream. Because I do have the Apollo Lego set that I have not put together. And yeah. If you... Sock and Cat says, I think everyone who finds a crater should yell bingo on Discord. I know, right? If you ever miss an episode, there's the video on demand. If you miss video on demand, we archive everything on YouTube. So yeah, there's that. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, you missed the fun. Come join us for a live stream. They really are a lot of fun. And I think that's all to the wall of text. I feel like I covered everything. Again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful insert time of day here, because I know you all are all around the world. And, you know, be awesome, be kind to each other, all that other good stuff. And if the skies are clear, which they never are in Youngstown apparently, and you get a chance, look up. And I think that's everything, and I'm going to roll the credits awkwardly, because that's how we roll. Ha 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 ha, pun. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye!